Hello, hello, mic check. Alrighty, here we go. It's time. Hello, Tom. Great to have you guys here on this fabulous Monday morning. Welcome. Wonderful to see your faces. All right, it's time. Chip chop. Chop chip. You're forgiven. I saw that. I was like, I don't think he meant to do that. All right, well, I like it. Let's start with an arm swing, a good old-fashioned arm swing. Notice where your head is. If you're looking at the floor, your head will be slouched forward, so you push the head straight up. And now as you swing your arms, you close your eyes. Huge deep breaths. Let the heaviness of the arms pull the shoulders away from your ears. And then you try to slow down each inhale so your inhales last for at least 5 arm swings. And then you exhale for the same. Slow and easy. Now I'll do one more breath just like that. Wonderful. You open your eyes. You make sure you're not a whackable distance to anyone around you. Thanks to the pandemic, it's not a problem at our studio, but at home it might be. And as the arms flop into the body, you breathe. Now, a couple things about the legs in this as we're swinging the arms. We don't want any pain in the knees. You want your knees soft. Parallel is the recommended orientation for your feet for the most part. And now as you swing the arms, you try closing your eyes, turning towards the wall behind you. If at any moment you get dizzy, you look straight ahead. And there is a difference in how you breathe for these swings versus the first ones we did. And you'll notice as the arms twist, as the upper body twists, it's hard to inhale through that part. So especially as the arms flop into the body, you're inhaling. And then you exhale. Beautiful. One more breath. Awesome. Relax your arms. Stand up tall. Let's just check in with the arms. See what we just did to ourselves. So feel the hips over the feet. And now notice that you can feel your hands completely different than whenever you first stepped through, came into class. You have more awareness, more sensitivity, better blood flow. And here we go. You open your eyes. We're going to slide a block over to the wall. There's all sorts of ways we can. Good morning, Dad. In case I didn't say that yet. Stretch the calves out. He's online with us today, although he's not here. We're going to have the left leg be closest to the wall, so we're going to turn sideways. So my left hip is closest to the wall. My left leg is closest to the wall, and your block is in its calf stretching position. So along this wall, you guys are going to be right here. Take the left forward. That's it. Just like so. Use a light touch on the wall as needed, but everyone's pushing the left knee back. And now as your ankles get more mobile, you can slide the right foot closer. So you can try that. And notice that that makes your eyebrows raise just a little bit. Just a little bit of lift in the eyebrow. It seems to help, although it's unrelated. Correlate rather than causation. And then if that's going well for you, you can play around with even lightening the touch of the right foot on the floor. Make sure you're inhaling. More is not better. And then if you can do that, you can see if you can take the right foot on top of the left. Notice that there's no change in the universe if you can balance on the left foot. Very good. One more inhale. And then you walk around and shake the left leg out. Oh, nicely done. Turn around for second side. You set the right foot in front. We're not rushing into this side stretch. And give it plenty of time to warm up. Your right and left leg are not the same. Left side tends to be more mobile, have more flexibility, be more sensitive. So we're not even thinking about picking up the back foot right now. Right now we're just focused on the sensation in the right leg. Imagine you could breathe into the belly of your calf. You could feel the lines of muscles expanding with each breath that you take. You push the right knee back. And now we play around with location of the back foot. You might be able to slide that back foot a little bit closer to the front foot. Use the wall. That's why it's there. Continuing to pull the toes up. If you would like, if you feel solid right here, you can try to balance with the left foot on top of the right foot. 2 more breaths. 3. Inhale. 2. Keep inhaling. 1. You walk around, shake the leg out. As you walk around, keep the head up. If you think back, for a lot of you, 2017, when you first started coming to our classes, there's no way we could have done that move. Gotten so much stronger. So, high fives to yourselves. All right, we're going to work on some balance. So this time we're going to face with the right shoulders closest to the wall. And we're going to step on the block with both feet. So our normal direction. You push the head up tall. Feel your feet on the block. Now before we start, doing all our fancy footwork, feel how soft your block is underneath the feet. Notice how much tension is in your arms. See if you can relax your arms. And now we shift weight forward, squishing the front edge of the block without bending at the hips. You lighten the weight, the pressure of your heels on the block. And then you shift weight back. You compress the back edge of the block. Try to pick up the front edge of it. And at your own pace, we go forward and back. Feeling the roll of your feet on the block as you shift weight forward and back. And now the next time you shift weight forward, you pick up your toes, spread the toes wide. And then you shift weight forward, grip your toes into the block. Beautiful. One more time, forward and back you go. And then you find yourself back to center. Pick up your toes. Spread the toes apart. And the question is, how do you know your toes are spreading apart? How do you even know your toes aren't on the floor, on the ground, on the block? And now you grip the block with your toes. See if you can pick up just your pinky toe. Oh, it's like your pinky toe is having a cup of tea. All right, very nice. Now you see if you can pick up just the big toes. Very good. Interesting. This is where eyebrow raising comes into play. Maybe a little bit. All right, very good. Now you keep the middle toes on the block. See if you can pick up the big toe and the pinky toe. What? Ha, 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 ha. One more breath. Very good. Stay right where you are. We're going to balance on one foot now. So you have both feet on the block. You're going to use the wall. We're going to take the left foot and we're going to take the pinky side of the foot like a blade on the middle of the block. And then we're going to roll that left foot onto the block as you pick the right foot up. That's it. You might need to look down. So the blade looks like this, Dan. So I have my foot here, and then I roll this foot onto the block as I set the right foot on top. Or, you could just step off the block and put your foot on there. Just everyone looks down at the foot right now. Make sure your pinky toe is nowhere near the outside edge. So we might need to just manually adjust. We're on the left foot, and that's it. Isn't it funny? We're just turning a different direction, and it messes us completely up. Remember, the number one protocol to anything we do in this class is holding your breath, thinking about it, comparing yourself. No. You just take some deep breaths. I can imagine your smile, Dan. It's beautiful. Thank you for demonstrating the chuckle so nicely. Now you keep pushing the left knee back. We're going to lift and lower the right hip. So I drop my right hip lower than the left, and then I pick it right back up. Up and down you go. Now, by now, you've probably started holding your breath. So you inhale, and then you don't stop with that inhale. You keep inhaling and exhaling. Last one, you keep that right hip up higher than the left hip. Push the head up. Huge breaths. 3, 2, at long last, we walk around. Turn around, flip your block for second side. Heel is solid on the block. That right pinky toe is nowhere near the outside edge, and you set the left foot on top. Remember, if you do ever feel lightheaded in class, your job is to tick-tock your head. So we're standing on the right foot. Huge inhales. Use the wall as much or as little as you need. With the head pushing straight up, you close your eyes. You keep breathing, open the eyes. We're going to lift and lower the left hip. Try to keep the chest, upper body as still as possible. Just the right hip is moving. Left hip. Just the left hip. Hips are moving. Chest is still. Inhale. And now we keep that left hip elevated. Right leg is straight. Push the chest up. Push the head up. 3, 2, walk around, shake the legs out. So good. All right, one more thing for the arms before we start to mosey our way down to the ground. We'll take our left arm straight in front of us, touching the wall. Fingertips pointed to the left, and then we open up towards the front of the mat. You pull the left scapula down the back. Let's go ahead and catch the right arm behind you. You keep pulling left shoulder blade down. Take a little bitty step forward, so maybe there's an inch of movement from the feet. Huge breaths. Keeping the feet right where they are. Try to turn your pelvis, turn your shoulders, look over the right. Don't let that left shoulder come up. Keep it down, Jamie. Keep the left shoulder down. Yeah, that means you have to unturn a little bit. Now you straighten the left arm. Close your eyes. Breathe into all that delicious sensation. That's the word you were looking for. In the left shoulder. And now try to pick up your fingertips. Heel of the palm stays down. 3, 2. Hand stays right where it is, but you take the feet underneath the hips. Continuing to pull the left shoulder down. See what you can connect to in the back of your shoulder. Get the hand off the wall 1 inch. Oh, goodness. 3. Inhale. 2. Head stays up. You walk forward. Let the arms slide down. Turn the head. Check out your neck. And then swing the arms. All right. Face the wall. Right arm is now straight in front. Shoulder height. With the left arm behind the back, we pull that right shoulder down and we turn around. So forget how far you turned for the last side. So you're not trying to be even, mostly because you're not even. And if we try to match up to some ideal, that's where we get into trouble. So this room, this class, is not a place for you to be a certain way. It's for you to notice how you are. You get the opportunity to be imperfect, to feel uncomfortable, to breathe. There's space for however you are in this room. And more importantly, you have space to feel all that stuff you've been ignoring. We don't treat any body sensation as a problem, regardless of the intensity. And all the boon comes from your ability to back off. You can back off when you feel like you've gone too far. That's a huge deal. Step the feet forward, 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So now we've weighted this right arm. Pull the right shoulder down, and now push the right hand into the wall. The hips are still back. Keep the heel of the palm on the wall. Try to pick up your fingers. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Take the feet underneath the hips. Take a deep breath. And now we shift forward just enough so that hand can hover away from the wall. Pull the fingertips back. Right shoulder is down for 3, 2, beautiful. Keep the head up. You let the arms slide down. Ho, 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 ho. Shake it out a little bit. And then you eventually swing the arms. Alrighty. Let us, without using our hands, pick up the block. So just as a reminder, how you get a block onto your foot, if you do it straight on, because of the shape of your foot, it will fall right off. So the recommendation is you have the block at about a 45-degree angle to your foot, and you flip it on top just like so. Yo, kick it to your neighbor. Nice. Good aim. Landed right on his block. I like it. Nice. That's great. Just make sure you're breathing. You're just going to do one. Almost got it. And then eventually just pick it up. And you go home and practice a whole bunch. Arms are straight. Push your hips back. Shoulders down. You're gripping the block between the fingertips, especially the thumb. This movement right here, these are your muscles of opposition. This is what has you be so evolved and have a much bigger brain than other primates. Crazy, this little thing. It's a huge deal, and if you lose the strength, the mobility in the thumbs, it's a real problem. As you know, if you have ever injured your thumbs. So you pull the shoulders down, and I'm actually trying to punch 10 holes into the block. Arms are straight. Now notice your hip location. Notice if your hips are forward. We don't want to bend at the hips. We want the hips maybe just an inch over the heels. And I try to rip the block in two. Keep crushing the block. Keep trying to rip it. You bend the elbows to 90 degrees. And then with the shoulders down, we straighten the arms. We'll just do 10 or so of these arm extensions. Just feel something deep in your shoulder in addition to whatever work you feel in the hands. Just make sure you're breathing. You have to make yourself inhale because you on your own are going to hold your breath and try to get out of the sensation. But this is exactly what getting stronger feels like. Whoo! 3, 2. Don't let the block go yet. You bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Still crushing the block. Still trying to rip it in 2. You keep the hips back. Reach the elbows up. Oh, 3. Keep inhaling. Keep inhaling. 2, 1. Beautiful. Set the block between the legs. Make sure you're not too close to the wall behind you. Swing the arms. If you feel lightheaded, make sure you tick-tock the head. Perfect. Now you give yourself just a moment to check back in with your body. You stand up tall. Close your eyes. See if you notice any difference. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and mosey on back to the wall. Keep your block with you for no particular reason. You know, we just happen to have the block, no big deal. Take your hips to the wall, the legs come out straight. There you go. That was called knowing the future a little bit. So with the legs straight, I have my hips back, I have my head and shoulders back. What could we do with this block? Yeah, maybe throw it, perhaps not. Not throwing it. Take your feet forward a little bit more, Tom. Keep going a little bit more. Just a little bit more. That's it. It's perfect. Now, the one thing about the knees, if you do have pain in the back of the knees, it's going to be an instance where you would slightly bend the knees, but otherwise we want the legs to be able to be straight. Very good. I know. We can put it behind our backs. That's brilliant. Good thinking, Todd. Everyone can thank Todd later for that great idea. He gave it to me. So my hips are on the wall. You keep your hips very much on the wall. Legs stay straight. You arch up, and then you fold forward. You'll feel the pants slide up the wall a little bit. And then you take the block about 3 inches above the hips. And then we take the head and shoulders back. Do not, for any reason, let your hips come off the wall. The hips have to stay back. Relax your arms. This is not a scapular movement. So this is predominantly rhomboids. It does this nice little movement you might see at the gym for some pec flies. But all the work to get the head and shoulders back comes from your vertebrae. It comes from your vertebrae. So this is upper thoracic extension. Eyes closed. Hips are pushing into the wall. Just noticing. Can you feel where in your back the limitation is? Everywhere. Yeah, we'll feel it. Don't let the hips come off the wall. You take your arms out straight in front, thumbs up. And now I know officially you really appreciate doing this pose. You're welcome. Thank you. Keeping the shoulders down. Don't let the shoulders come up. You reach the thumbs slowly back to the wall. Straighten your arms, Tom. Straighten your arms. And take the hands wider. Yeah, that's it. Pull the shoulders down. Yes, Todd. There you go. Shoulders down a little bit more. That means your arms are going to come more forward. So you're here a little bit. Yeah, that's it. Huge breaths. Don't compress the back of your neck. 3, 2. Beautiful. Relax your arms. You're going to take your heels of your palms right here on the thighs, high up close to the pelvis. Try to straighten your arms. As you straighten the arms, you reach the head and shoulders back. Take a deep inhale. Relax the belly as you exhale. See if you can get any more length along the front of the waist. Very nice. One more breath. Awesome. Relax your arms. You're going to bend the knees. You might need to wiggle the feet forward a little bit more. Reach back, take the block. You're going to flop it onto your back. And let's go ahead and take the elbows on the thighs. So my hips are still touching the ground. Look down at your feet. We want the feet at least hip width apart. So that's about a block's distance. They can be slightly more wide than that, but not more narrow. And now I use my elbows to push down through the elbows. Push my lower back down. Try to point your chest towards the front of the mat. And now imagine your feet are fingers. You know, you would drum your fingertips on a table. You're going to try to drum the toes. So you start with the, whichever toe you start with. Maybe it's the pinky. Maybe it's the big toe. And you try to touch each individual toe on the floor. There we go. And now you notice, are you a pinky first tapper? And try to do the opposite. So if you did pinky first, you try the big toe first. If you did big toe first. So I'm touching each finger, toe, whatever those things are down there. Ugh. Very good. Now just relax the feet on the floor. Push down through the elbows again. You arch up. And see if you can shift way forward enough to get your buns off the wall. Ugh. If you can't get your buns off the wall, you just take a hand behind you and let the hand help you off the wall. But now my buns are no longer touching the wall. Oh no, we lost a block. Yeah, get another one. That's perfect. Never happened. All right, here we go. Let's lift and lower. Just 20. Up and down with the hips. You keep the weight in the heels. Up and down. Make sure you're breathing. This foot is turned out a little bit. Yeah, so you might keep the balls of the feet where they are, but slide the heels out. Yeah, that's better. You feel the difference? Well, remember, during class, I love it when you feel nice, but during class is probably not the best time to ask how much you like me or being here. But afterwards is what we care about. That's it. Perfect. We'll call that 15. If you've already done 20, just 5 more. Up and down with the hips. And the last one, you sink the hips low, push down through the elbows, arch the chest up, you let your arms hang. And now we're going to do our little walkabout. So you shift weight over the left leg. Step the right foot forward, even if it's just an inch. Ooh. Oh, we got some problems here, Ginger. Let me help. What was that show? Mama's Family? Was it? Bubba. Anyone? No? Push the lower back down, Jamie. Push the lower back down. Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's so much worse, isn't it? And then you mosey right back. Yes, this is what we're trying to avoid in your future, is actually looking like this. This is your insurance policy. All right, now wherever you are, you take a deep inhale. You stand all the way up. The instant you stand up, tick-tock your head. After tick-tock the head, you'll probably feel lightheaded. If it doesn't go away quite quickly, you have to turn around, touch a wall. And then right about now, the lightheadedness should have subsided. You walk around and feel the difference in your body. Okay. Let's go ahead, and if your mat is away from the wall, we're not going to use the wall in this moment, but shortly we will. So you slide the back of your mat all the way up to the wall. There we go. And then we're going to come back onto the mat, all the way down onto hands and knees. So my wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are not as, maybe shoulder width apart, so they're not too narrow. Just give your hips a nice little wiggle side to side. Feel what's going on. And the hands and the legs. If there's any discomfort from the hardness of the floor, make sure you pad the knees. Perfect. Now we come back to center. Let's go ahead and do a couple knuckle push-ups here. So I shift weight to the index and middle knuckle. I pick up the heel of the palm as best as you can, and then I switch. Keep the shoulders down. Tom, you can take the hands a little wider. There we go. Jamie, you can take the hands a little wider. Just gives more space for any kind of shoulder immobility. Allows for you to keep the arms straighter. Perfect. And now if that's going well for you, if you can do this without elevating scapula, you keep the shoulders down. Try to push through both index knuckles. Pick up the heels of the palms at the same time. Three, two, very good. Last one. Set the elbows down to the floor. Wiggle the fingers. Close your eyes, you make a fist. Feel the hands, you roll the wrists. Spread the hands wide. Like you're trying to palm a giant basketball. Or a small basketball if your hands are small. Or giant for you. All right. Forearms down, palms face down onto the ground. Pull shoulders down. We're going to turn our head strongly to the left. You look over the left shoulder with the head turned to the left. You pull the shoulders down. And now we're going to lift and lower the head. So my right ear reaches away from the floor. My left ear reaches towards the middle of the back. Perfect. Head comes back through the center. You turn the head strongly, look to the right. Pull the shoulder blades down. Relax the lower belly, the lower back down to the floor, and then we lift and lower the head. One more. Head comes back to center. Let's take the palms face up. Try to hit your thumbs to the floor. Pivot on the elbows. You reach the wrists apart. Now pull those shoulder blades down. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, you're going to tick-tock the head left to right. So my right ear reaches to the right shoulder. And as the right ear reaches to the right shoulder, pull the left shoulder even downer, even more away from the left ear. And you switch. Head over to the left. You pull that right shoulder down. One more time each way, slow and easy. Beautiful, back to center. Palms face down. Let's go ahead and curl our toes open. Don't curl your toes open, please. Under is the word I was looking for. And we push up into elbows down dog. I'm going to be here for 5 slow inhales. So I'm driving my elbows into the floor. You bend the knees. Tailbone is trying to point to the ceiling. See if you can feel the expansiveness of the breath, especially around the rib cage. See if you can get anything to move close to the chest, the sternum. We're weighting your upper body with your body weight. It makes breathing more challenging, which is perfect for getting all the little muscles in the ribs stronger. One more breath. And now for the best part, you set the knees down on the floor, walk the legs back. Oh, goodness. Fold the hands under the head. Close your eyes. Let's go ahead and bend the knees. You pick your feet up. With the feet up, you tick-tock the shins. Let the pelvis roll on the floor, side to side. You check out what's going on in your back. Or wherever else you happen to be able to connect to the sensations. Relax the legs all the way down to the floor. And we're going to slide our elbows underneath the shoulders for reading pose. Just as a reminder for your day-to-day life, because we're not together all the time, is that if you can do one thing for the health of your shoulders, of your back, for your body, you get on the floor. Every day, you find some kind of reason to be on the floor. Hang out here in reading pose. This is excellent for the health of your shoulders. And if you don't feel it yet, you will. There is, and I keep seeing you guys do this thing, which is, it makes my life purposeful. I've seen every single one of you catch your head getting closer to the floor, and you pull your shoulder up. And that's not what most people do in this position. Most people in this position, it's like they turn into something like Jabba, a turtle. Yes, a very scared turtle, you could say. Oh, there you go. They lose their neck. And so you don't want to lose your neck. It would make you a loser. No, it wouldn't. That was too harsh. But you get the idea. We want to push through the elbows, pull the shoulders down. And this right here is a great way to start getting your shoulders stronger. If you never considered how heavy you are, some of you are very good at considering it, probably more than you should. But you actually get to experience the heaviness of your body. Walk elbows over to the right. Hips stay down. Don't let either hip come off the floor. Close your eyes. We're trying to allow for abdomen to smush the floor. And we're using all this work in the shoulders and the arms to help pitch the chest away from the floor. Huge inhales. Grip your hands into the floor. You can push or pull with the arms. I want you to try to pull with the arms. Arch the chest up. We're looking for a sensation along your back. Very good. One more breath. Don't take the head down. You're going to relax the pull, but keep the body side flexed just like this. Take maybe 2 more breaths. See if you can, it looks like you might be a little too close to the wall. Can you scooch up a little bit? There we go. And now take the top of the thigh to the, yes. Is that better? Yeah. Relatively. It's all relative. Better is relative. More sensational perhaps. Last breath. Beautiful. You walk your elbows back to center. Let's have a moment together. Fold the hands. Rest the head down. And now you get to see what it feels like to have done one side and not the other. One more breath. Just checking it out. And now we come back into reading pose. Elbows walk over to the left. So be mindful of the left thigh. We don't want to roll the left knee out. I want you to stay on the top of your left thigh. Your hips stay down. Relax your belly. Now, some of you may have sensitivity on the tops of your feet. If that's the case, you can always curl the toes under. Grip with your hands. Pull the lower body forward as the head and shoulders reach up. Shift your shoulders this way, Dan, a little bit. Yeah. Now you pull. Trying to relax the legs. The legs are completely like tranquilized, immobile, floppy legs. You've got nothing tense in the legs whatsoever. All the contraction is coming from your back and your arms pulling the upper body away from the lower. One more breath. Keep the upper body right where it is, but you stop pulling with the arms. Relax your waist. Push down through the elbows, chest up. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And here we go. We walk the elbows back to center. Forearms parallel. You grip your hands. Pull the lower body forward in this direction now. Chest arches up. Pull, pull, pull with the hands. Keep pulling with the hand. You pick your elbows up just 1 inch. Squeeze your elbows together. Ooh. 3, 2, elbows slide out. Oh, yay. Close your eyes again. You check back in. And now notice how the data you can feel in the body, the data you can collect, is changed. And we call this the best yoga pose ever because it's undoing. You can't really slouch and lie on your belly. Your spine is slightly extended. We can use gravity to help encourage the lower lumbar spine towards the floor. And what I recommend as far as your head position is turned, you pick a side to turn the head one way or another. It actually allows for you to relax the neck a little bit better. And then every now and then you switch because you have a good and a bad side. And then again, you bend the knees, wiggle the toes, and roll the ankles. Tick-tock the shins. Beautiful. Relax legs all the way down to the floor. One more moment you take to breathe, to check in, to notice. And here we go. One more time we come into reading pose. You have the elbows underneath the shoulders. Palms flat. You keep the shoulders down straight and the arms would come into cobra. And now the arms are pretty cool. They can do this thing where my elbow pits can almost point to the ceiling, or I can point my elbows to the ceiling. It's pretty interesting. And we want the elbow pits to more or less point up. Now notice what's happening in your hands. Did your hands slide all the way to the pinky edge of the hand? You try to crush the index knuckles into the ground. And now what's happening in your lower back and your belly? Can you relax the belly? Ugh. Fighting to push those index knuckles down. Close your eyes. Todd, you might need to scooch forward a little bit because it looks like your toes are pushing into the wall. Your shoes are too small? Okay, good. Yes, do not wear shoes that are too small if you can help it. I actually, speaking of shoes, I have these running shoes called Ultras. One more breath. Touch the elbows down. You have an option to stay exactly right where you are, or you take the hands back about a hand's length. And you straighten the arms. You got to pull the shoulder blades down. We're trying to get your belly on the floor. That's the idea. So if you can't have the arms straight, if this is too intense for you, no big deal. You just walk your hands forward. This movement of the back is so important. And it's when you're beginning this stuff, when you're not good at it, it is what we would put in the category called yucky. So I have, in the last couple of years, I've been only wearing shoes that are good for my feet. Sort of like saving the moments where I can wear heels because I enjoy wearing them. And enjoyment's relative. I mean, physically not at all. It's just fun, you know. That's it. You might need to set the head down. It's all good. You give yourself some breaks. Huge inhales. One more breath. Perfect. Bend the elbows. Squeeze your elbows in. And now try to slide the lower body forward. Head and shoulders reach back. Pull with the hands. There we go. 3, 2, perfect. Set the elbows on the floor. You're going to try to keep your head and shoulders right where they are. We're not going to do any reverse crunches, but we're going to get into a similar position as we would be, but the hands are on the floor. So my fingertips are pointing towards the front of the mat. I'm not letting my neck disappear. I'm keeping it next. We're going to do world's laziest push-up. You push through the arms, come all the way back onto hands and knees. Drape the lower back towards the floor. Super drapey lower back. Wag the tail. Very good. All right. Grab your block. You're going to have a seat with your buns against the wall. We had too much fun today. Class just zipped by on us. Just going to do a couple things for the hips here. Do a twist and we'll call it a day. So you wiggle the hips all the way back. Make sure your hips are on the wall behind you. You catch the ankles. And so your feet might be far. If you can't catch the ankles, you just catch the shins. And now we're going to do this movement that we care about so much for your back. So it's hip flexion and spinal extension. So you're trying to reach the lower back away from the wall. It's as if your pelvis is a bowl of water. We're trying to pour water out of the front edge of the bowl, the pelvis bowl. Close your eyes. And now notice if the hips are on the wall. And if they're not on the wall, you might need to scoot your buns back a little bit. Give yourself a few moments to just inhale. Don't worry about pulling the knees down for now. We'll get to that in a moment. Now, can you feel the soles of your feet touching? And now you keep the soles of the feet touching. Can you touch your toes? So the big toes are touching all the way down to the pinkies. Keep holding the ankles. Arch up a little bit more. Push the shoulders and the head lightly into the wall. And now you pull the knees to the floor. So I'm not using my hands. I'm using my brains. Trying to connect to all that meat in the hips. So I pull the knees away from each other. One more inhale. Beautiful. You catch on the outside of the legs. We take the legs straight out. Do our little scoochy hippie dance. You take the hips back to the wall. Sit up tall. All right. Let's do our last twist. So normally we take our elbows to the floor. Today we're not going to do that. So you're going to slide your hips all the way forward so you have space between your hips and the wall. Keep the chest up. With the feet wide as the mat, we're going to drop the knees over to the left. And then you're going to keep your arms straight, walk the arms around to the back of your mat. So arms stay underneath the shoulder, arms are straight. You push down through the left hand, twist the upper body, look over the left shoulder. Relax the left side of your waist. Slow, deep inhales, expanding into the lungs, into the rib cage. You relax the left side of your waist. Pull the left shoulder blade back. Trying to peer over your left shoulder, checking out your foot. One more breath. Awesome. Keep the chest up. We open up towards the front of the mat. Take your arms back behind you with the feet wide. And the chest up. Tick-tock the knees a couple times to feel the difference. And now you come back to center. Look down at your feet. Make sure your feet are mat width apart. If they're too close, it's going to mess up the twist a little bit. We drop the knees to the right. Arms walk around. You walk the arms all the way over to the right as far as you can. You pull that right shoulder down. Trying to relax the waist. One more breath. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, here we go. You're going to come back around to center. We're going to do our Jiu Jitsu Get Up. So we'll have the left knee bent and close into the hips. The right hand is just out to the right. I heard the excitement. You let it sneak out, Jamie. All right, first of all, this is a nice high school picture pose. Or if you happen to be in basketball, this is the exact pose I was in for one of my basketball pictures in junior high, actually. But the game is you push through the left foot and the right hand, try to pick the hips off the floor. Boop. There you go. That's not too bad. Now, if you can do that, then you see if you can thread the right leg all the way through. You can either step the right foot down or not. And miraculously, you stand up, tick-tock the head. So good. And then our last one for the road, the palms face up. Point the thumbs to the floor. Reach your wrists apart. With the elbows forward, remember it's like you have a bowl of soup in your hands. We're trying to pour soup out behind us. Ula, who is a teacher here Sunday nights, she went to Russia for 6 months. Keep reaching the elbows forward, the hips push back, push your hips back. Yeah, sneaky hips, huh? The shoulders down. We had a little going away meal with her at one of the restaurants. I can't remember the name right now. But this guy was waiting on us. Not for us to do anything, but he was serving us food. One more breath. And as you exhale, close the eyes, relax the arms. Take 2 more breaths to check back in. Beautiful. You open the eyes. Before I finish my story, I will tell you thank you so much for being here. It is such an honor that I get to have this time with you. If you have any questions, let me know. Self high fives. If you need to go, you can. The long story short is that this guy was giving us all these tips for kickball because he's in a kickball. These other people are in a kickball. And it occurred to me at some point that I have a card in my purse, and we do bad waiter, and he's a waiter. And so we showed him bad waiter. It was very funny. We're trying to ignite the fire of having very good, bad waiters. Very good, bad waiters, something like that. Thank you so much. See you, Daddy. Thanks for being here and everyone else who joined us.